1220 KHTS. I'm Cary Quashen. Happy Monday, everybody.
Hey,
Mike, it's Monday.
How you doing, Cary?
Here we are again.
We're back. And hey, we want to remind everybody right off the bat that you can watch us live on Facebook. Just go to KHTS AM 1220.
Live on Facebook,
Facebook,
Mike? I don't think they heard you because I was talking over you.
Well, that's normal.
I have to mess with you today.
Live on Facebook.
See, he's
AM
turning
1220.
red. Look at him.
Oh, brother. You see him, see?
Live on where?
Facebook.
There you go. And I'm Cary Quashen. I'm your host with my co-host, Michael Duarte. And you know what we call him, guys? The Silver Fox.
Ah.
Can you figure out why?
Guess.
Probably a really good guess, huh? So anyways, Michael, Families in Action is brought to you by your hometown station. We've been on the air now over 13 years. And, hey, what can we say? We're very appreciative, and it's pretty awesome stuff, huh?
Helped a lot of people, Cary.
Yeah. And the Action Family Counseling, which is alcohol and drug rehabilitation centers, and we also have the foundation. I'll let you talk about that.
Well, the foundation, one of the things that's great is Tuesday nights, 7 to 9, and that's the parent, I forget what it's called.
Parenting group.
Parenting group, yeah.
Right.
Which you lead.
I lead it. I'm there every Tuesday, 7 p.m. at Canyon High School. There's a parent group for parents that kind of helps you get back in control. And there's a teen group with certified counselors that are there to work with your children, from anything from self-esteem to drug abuse and everything in between.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free unless you come. I'm going to charge you.
Okay.
Okay with that?
I would be anticipating that.
And anyone, if you're thinking that you should come, you should come. If you have an adolescent, a teenager that's in any kind of crisis, this is the place to go. And we can help figure out the best way to deal with that.
Absolutely. And, Cary, we have some guests with us today, as you know,
do.
from one of your homes. I shouldn't say that. It sounds like they're in a home. That's not actually. I didn't mean that.
Actually, it kind of is, right?
Yes.
I
But
mean, it's a big home, and it's a real family environment,
Yes.
and good things happen there.
And we
So
have.
I try to keep it away from the institution feeling.
There you go. And I've been. No, I haven't been to Pyro, but I've been over to a couple of.
Would you like to be admitted?
I should not be admitted, but I can come for a visit.
I'm just checking.
I'd fall short if I was admitted because
That's true.
I don't have a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
Our board operator is making strange gestures. I don't know exactly what he's trying to do, but we should introduce everyone to our guests. We
Let's
have
do that.
Richard with us. We have Lisa, and we have Nicole.
Thank you.
And squirreled away in the corner, so she's off camera.
I'm not giving it up.
Oh, okay.
I'm not giving it up.
You're gonna try.
I'm not even going to do it. Nope. She didn't want to be in it. I get it.
Cary, before we get started, talking about recovery, which is what we're going to be talking about today, I have a number of things from the action file.
Let's go for it.
These are interesting. 12-year-old hospitalized after ingesting marijuana edibles on a school bus. A 12-year-old boy in Massachusetts was hospitalized after ingesting a marijuana edible on his public school bus, and now local school officials are trying to figure out where he got the substance so other students aren't harmed. After his bus ride, the boy called his mother, and he was crying. He said, "I ate something." His mother said, "What did you eat?" He said, "Candy." "Where did you get it?" she asked, and he said he found it on the school bus. When his mother went to school, she found her son hardly able to speak. She took a video of his behavior and rushed him to the emergency room. Once the tox screen came back, doctors said they had never seen this before in a child so small.
Problem with THC today is as we all know, the THC levels is so high right now, the potency in these drugs. If you look at, let's go 20 years ago, marijuana was like 0.3 milligrams THC, the drug that gets you high. In a hit now off of a bong, it's 25%, 30%, right around there. So from 0.3 to that. Then you look at the edibles and the waxes and stuff, about 80%. So from 0.3 to 80%, and especially when it comes to a teenager in their brain, they can't handle this stuff. It's way too potent. It's not the marijuana that people from those days think it is. And I run a psych hospital,
Right.
and I own drug rehabs. In the psych hospital, we get a lot of people that are coming in there and they're psychotic. I mean, really, drug-induced psychosis. And when we're doing testing, the only thing we're finding is THC. So it's really pretty frightening right now what's going on with the marijuana. In fact, so frightening, I'm going to be doing something either later this week or early next week with Channel 7 News, because they actually called me and said, we need to do something. We're seeing way too many crises with marijuana in young people today, and old people. It's funny because I was driving on the freeway. You can always tell a pothead. I'm doing 65 and they're doing 40. It's like, excuse me, let's go. And I always laugh about that because I say that's what it is. And he's like, was it really? And the other day I was driving past somebody on the freeway. I'm doing 65, maybe 70. I'm keeping up with everyone else. And there's someone doing less than 40. And I'm looking and he's smoking a bong on the freeway. So it's like, yeah, that's what's going on. And also in our ERs at Henry Mayo, we get a ton of people that are coming in there with drug-induced issues. And THC is the only thing showing up in their bodies. So it's really pretty frightening. And then you take adolescents and with their teen brain that's not even developed, not going to develop to their mid-20s. And we're getting these 12-year-olds eating edibles, 14-year-olds smoking this high-potency pot. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't care if they never use another drug. That's very dangerous.
Here's another thing from the action file.
And by the way, you guys can jump in anytime. If you feel like jumping in and we're talking, just go for it.
Sure. Largest preventable cause of death to claim 33% more lives, Cary. Smoking costs the global economy, now we're talking about worldwide, an eye-popping $1 trillion with a T each year.
Talking cigarettes now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And anti-tobacco efforts are looking at this because deaths are rising.
So
tobacco-related illness
So just before you go any further, my mother died from cancer. So did my father at 47. But he died from drugs and cigarettes. My mom died 5 years ago from cigarettes. And we went to the doctor and she had stage 4 cancer. I'll never forget it. She looked at the doctor and she says, how did this happen? And he was a nice guy. He said, Esther, what do you mean? It says it on the box. Just like that. How profound can that be? Says it on the box.
And this story is going to talk about that a little bit later on as I read down here. Now, tobacco-related illnesses will claim 8 million lives per year by 2030, up from the current 6 million. It warns this new study, and this is from the World Health Organization, the National Cancer Institute.
You guys don't smoke anymore, right?
No.
I got the lecture when my daughter was little. They taught her in school, and she came home and she's like, Mom, you're going to die if you keep smoking. And she was like 3, and I was like, okay, that was it for me.
I'm so glad you said that because I say this all the time in my speaking engagements. When I go to the middle schools and I talk to young kids, at the end there's always tears, and you know what it is? Is my parents going to die?
Right.
Scared.
They're so afraid that you all are going to die because of cigarettes, but they're right.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what it says on most boxes. If y'all are listening or watching, it says quite a few things. It says smoking contains carbon monoxide. That's poison.
Right.
Yep.
Or it says, smoking by pregnant women. Okay, well, we get a lot of pregnant women that are having smoking issues. Mm-hmm. Or it says this on most boxes. It says, the Surgeon General has determined. That's like determined. It used to say might, but here's what it says. The Surgeon General has determined that smoking causes lung cancer, emphysema, and then it says some other stuff. That's what it says on a box. And then people light up a cigarette and put it in their mouth. And my message to you is when you do that, look in the mirror and ask yourself, what is it that I hate about me today? Because I'm putting something in my body that tells me it's going to kill me. Isn't that heavy?
It is heavy.
And then the new commercial I watched last night, did you see that? Did you guys see that? They're talking about cigarettes and smoking and vaping. Now they're saying vaping, 1 hour of vaping a day is like 100 cigarettes. It's all over TV.
Wow.
I guess it's a new study that just came out. 1 hour of vaping, 100 cigarettes is what it said.
Wow.
So you know what? We got real problems.
We do. And this is interesting because it goes on to say it's suggested that boosting tobacco taxes and the price per pack, along with better anti-smoking policies, warning labels, and a total ban on marketing will have a positive effect. Australia's strict plain packaging laws banning cigarette company logos has been praised by health experts as a model for other nations, though the policy has sparked legal challenges. Australia won a legal fight against Philip Morris in 2015 to keep cigarette packs there as drab as possible. That's interesting.
Good, but you know what's really sad is when you do marketing for that kind of stuff, tobacco and stuff, you're really the marketing is focused directly at children. And the reason why is if they get a 15-year-old or an 18-year-old to start smoking, usually they have them for 20 to 30 years. So it's all marketed at that. Now you look at the new pot clinics, right? Who do you think they're focused to? Younger people. I mean, what adult's going to buy THC-filled gummy bears? Right? Or that kind of stuff. So everyone's kind of marketing children, which is really pretty frightening for what's going on in our world.
Moving on, here's another action file item. This is very interesting, Cary. According to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, deaths from fentanyl and other synthetic opioids rose 72% from 2014 to 2015.
Well, that's pretty clear. I mean, that's the opiate explosion we're having right now, and when they're cutting the heroin with stuff that makes it stronger. And they're telling even the people that are using, be careful, it's really potent. And everyone says, well, I'll just use a little less. But a little less with that potency is killing a lot of people right now. I mean, we're having, by the end of this show, there's going to be almost 10 people die from an accidental overdose. By the end of this show, 1 hour, almost 10 people will lose their life accidentally from opiates. That's just that drug.
Tragic.
Isn't that tragic?
We've
terrible.
learned from the other people at the home with us that actually do use it, that it's actually cheaper to buy heroin than it is marijuana right now.
Oh, yeah. Heroin is extremely cheap, but one of the most addictive drugs there is.
Right.
And definitely one of the most deadly. Not so much the heroin itself, but all the stuff that it's cut with. And today, even the dealers don't know what it's cut with. They think they do, but they're putting fentanyl in everything. In fact, there's bootleg oxy that just perfectly looks like the pill, but they're mixed in with other stuff. They're made from machines right now. So we're losing a lot of people. I mean, every time somebody's smoking heroin or shooting dope, they're really playing Russian roulette. It's going to get them. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when's it going to happen. Scary.
Terrifying.
One more item from the action file to lead us into our special guest today, Cary. We know that America has an alcohol problem, but over the last decade, we've seen a substantial increase in the number of women who are drinking compared to a decade ago. And the main problem, a higher percentage of these women are now binge drinking.
Binge, I'm losing my words. Binge drinking is extremely dangerous because our bodies don't know how to deal with it. You know, we don't drink and then all of a sudden we drink a lot. I mean, it's very, very dangerous. So, which kind of brings us to a point. I was looking at one of our guests and they were going, So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us why you went,
Nicole.
I knew that.
And I 20 years barely ever drank. You know, you go with friends with Vegas and go out to dinner, have a couple glasses of wine. I was raising my daughter, so I didn't ever want alcohol in the house. And I was always worried I would have to take her to the hospital in the middle of the night or pick her up from a friend's or whatever the case would be.
Having kids is scary anyways, huh?
Yeah, and I was a single mom. I was a single mom the entire time. So, and once she went off to college, you know, some old demons started coming out. And got very uncomfortable, and you can't sleep, but you have to work. So you try everything, edibles,
there you go.
Tylenol PM, melatonin, all the natural.
Tylenol PM. I know quite a few people that were actually addicted to that.
Yeah, people will take 2 and then they end up on 4 and 5 and 6.
And that Tylenol building up in your kidneys and liver and everything else
it does damage.
Bad news.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So my drug of choice was wine, 2 glasses would lead to a bottle would lead to 2. but I had to make sure I wasn't having a problem with it. So I not drink during the week, or if I drink during the week, it'd only be 2. And then, the weekend would come and 2 bottles would be 5, 6, 7. The whole weekend would be gone. So I'm a binger.
Right.
I go 30 days, I go 90 days, I do whatever I could, just to prove to myself that I didn't have a problem.
Right.
And like I, said
how'd that work for you?
Oh, it worked great. That's why I'm in rehab.
That's why you're in rehab.
And going to meetings. My worst was 90 days, and I drank 10 to 12 bottles of wine that weekend. So I think for us, as moms
10 to 12 bottles that weekend.
That weekend
That's
in
enough
2 days.
to kill a couple people.
Yeah, my blood alcohol when they admitted me was 398, which I should have been dead.
Yeah.
That's coma or death.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that wasn't my best, though. My best was the first time at 404.
Yeah. What happened, Nicole? Why? What happened?
What I'm learning through this program is that some of us are just a little broken.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in that brain, we just don't know when to stop.
I don't know if it's we don't know when. I really believe that, one's too many and 1,000's never enough.
Yes.
If we have that compulsive, obsessive kind of disorder, disease of alcoholism, we're good.
Right.
But when we take that first drink, hit, pill, whatever it is, something triggers in our brain that we lose control no matter what.
Yeah.
So, and it's just kind of one of those kind of things. Rehab is an interesting thing because so many people come, and you're in there now, and they come in there and they want to stop, they want to drink less, they don't want to use vodka, they want to drink wine, they don't want to shoot dope, they want to use meth. I mean, it's kind of whatever it is, but the reality is what if we have an addictive personality, we can't do anything, because once we do, we're in trouble. It's kind of like when you're young. Follow me for a second. We have contracts. Remember those? Mm-hmm. When I grow up, I want to be whatever it is, a model, a doctor, a boxer. Those are certain, those kind of contracts. Then we have other contracts. These are things I never want to do. I'm never going to smoke cigarettes because it'll kill me. I'll never drink booze. I don't want to be like my dad. I'm not going to use dope because, oh my God, drugs. And we mean it. But somewhere down the line, we start breaking our contracts. And most people, the first contract they break is a cigarette. I mean, they start hanging out with the cool people, right? And there's only 2 reasons a kid would light up a cigarette. One is it's a learned behavior from home, or 2, the cool kids are doing it. Mm-hmm. So you go over there and you say, I'm never going to smoke. Somebody say, hey, want one, dude? No, I'm never going to smoke. Oh, you sure? Okay. 5 days later, 10 days later, oh, what the heck? You take your first hit.
I did that.
How do you clean that up? It's only a cigarette. I won't use drugs. Dude, it's only pot. It's not a drug. It's legal. It's natural. Okay, well, eventually you convince yourself and you take a hit. Your contracts are getting weak. And also you did something that's even different. You put something in your body that made you feel good. It's like, whoa, and now you're part of this culture and people, everyone loves, hey, love you, dude, that kind of thing. So how do you clean that up? It's only pot. I'll never use anything else. All the other drugs are drugs of opportunity. They're waiting. You start smoking pot and doing all that, and you go on to parties. It's just a matter of time till you go, what the heck? And you take your hit. Now, when you go through rehab, you get new contracts. I'm never going to do this again. And then you go home, and all your friends say, dude, I'm really proud of you, man. We're not going to get high in front of you. And about 3 days later, a little pot won't hurt me. I want to smoke a little pot with them. I mean, they're saying that just you don't smoke any. And you say, okay, I can handle that. The more you're around it, eventually you're going to hit it. So contracts are one of those kind of things. Getting clean and sober is easy. You just got to change everything. Your friends, your toys, your playground. And when you change all that, your thinking changes. But if you go back there with those contracts and you start breaking them, it's just a matter of time before you're back in rehab. It's just, or dead, or in a psych unit. That's just, I've been doing this, and I've been clean and sober myself for 36 years, and I've been doing this for over 30. I've seen so many people go to rehab for so many different reasons. If you go there and you really want to stay clean, you will, but you got to change everything. If you kid yourself saying, okay, I just can't shoot dope, I just can't drink vodka. If you do that kind of thing, you can get yourself in trouble. You will be back, or in more trouble. It's just kind of one of those kind of things. So you've been in rehab how long? I'm going to go on a break in a minute, but
14 days.
oh, she looked great.
Thank you.
You really
I know.
did.
It was about 7 days in where I think we started to see the difference, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, being in rehab and all that stuff?
I am embracing it because I was still in denial my first day there. I knew it was the right thing to do. Doctor was very concerned. My heart rate was like 146. It
I
was insane.
remember all that.
Yeah. You saw me.
I did.
So
In a different facility.
Yes. So the first meeting was when I went, oh, wow, I have a problem. This is a problem. Like, I'm like, kept thinking, oh, it's the trauma that happened to me earlier in my life, and it's just symptomatic, and, things like that. You come up with different reasonings,
Of course.
I didn't drink for 20 years. There's no reason I would have a problem. But you start to hear people and you start to associate and, relate to them. And then you're going, wow, I really do have a problem here.
If you're questioning yourself at all, maybe, then you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And some of the ways here's one way to do it: drinking and using, regardless of consequences.
Right.
And all of us, me included, I've been sober too. We drank and used regardless of consequences.
Correct.
And when the consequences get bad, we have to take a look at it. And I was talking to somebody yesterday. Instead of being angry at ourselves, be angry at the alcohol and the drugs. We're good people. Once we put poison like that in our body, it turns good people into bad, makes good people do bad things, turns good dreams into nightmares.
Yes.
And then we wake up in a rehab and go, oh boy, how?
Oh no, we know how.
Yeah, but then we try to our brain tries to manipulate ourselves. Manipulate us to say, oh, it wasn't that bad. I'm not like these people. I heard a counselor say this once. It made really good sense to me. When we first get sober, it's like you got a devil and an angel on your shoulders. And the devil's really loud voice saying, get out of here. You can go drink. And the little angel's he's kind of like whispers, no, don't do it. But the longer you stay clean, the devil's voices get lower and the angel's voice gets louder. And we start to be able to make good choices. You're wonderful.
Thank you.
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
I haven't seen you since that other place.
Yes.
And I didn't even recognize you. You look so much better.
Thank you.
How much time sober have you been?
16 days.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You look
16.
great. On that note, Mike, why don't you take us on break and we'll talk to our other guests when we come back.
All right, you're listening to Families in Action right here on KHTS AM 1220. We're talking about recovery with our special guests, Richard, Lisa, and Nicole. We'll be right back.